Forex Classroom from BK Forex. Welcome to our daily Forex technicals for 6/7/13. Dollar sell-off overdone. That's the question that as we go into the NFP day. Trading foreign exchange on margin carries highly risk management for investors. High degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. I ask you to read this disclaimer carefully, understand all the risks associated with trading on margin, and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. Well, let's take a look at the. I think I want to look at the euro first, even though the yen was, of course, the massive mover of the day today. But I think the euro is kind of worth looking at, mainly because the spike in the euro here and the flame out at the 133.30 sort of suggests that maybe we hit a near-term top here in the euro. Because if you look at the euro charts on a longer-term basis, let me just zoom out a little bit. You'll see it. Sorry, just bear with me. Here's where we're zooming out. So we kind of spiked out. This is the 33s, right? We had a big turn of the 33s that sort of started this big downward leg. We stabled at 128, came up, came back down, made a higher low, made a W, and are not coming up against this level. So it's very likely that we may be, at this point, hitting a little bit of a near-term resistance in the euro. And that's why, just from a technical point of view, I think it's going to take a lot to push this through 33s and hold it above 33s. If we do hold it above 33s, that is a very bullish sign for the euro, and then we could probably see 35 in the near future. But for now, this big power move did kind of flame out of the 33s, and I think it's worth keeping an eye on that as a forward indicator of potential overbought conditions for the euro. The yen, on the other hand, is the reverse of this. So yes, we had a massive liquidation move today. Clearly was a huge precipitation of a lot of the anti-dollar sentiment. But if you look at it, we held 96s, and 96 now is effectively sort of a double bottom with a relatively decent value proposition. I mean, if you had tried to buy it today, it was a very quick buy underneath 96 as it came right back up. Does not mean that I really, this is a bullish move in dollar yen. And you could buy with abandon. It's probably going to likely mean we're going to have consolidation. But it doesn't look like 96 itself, or let's say 95, 80, 95, 70 is going to be threatened considerably unless we have just absolutely horrid NFPs tomorrow and we start breaking down. If we take out 95, 50s, then yes, we could see 95s. We could see just massive liquidations because I think there's still a lot of late longs that are trapped, and you could have more margin liquidations. But we clearly, I think, at this point had an extreme climax sell-off today, and it may be due for a little bit of consolidation. Top side to the yen is 98, 98.50 is resistance. Basically 98, 98.50, 99 are very stiff resistance. It's gonna take a tremendously powerful number tomorrow, like a $200,000, $220,000 number, in order for us to clear that. And again, I think the most critical thing from the other side of it is to see if we hold. It's really going to depend on how we hold 2-3 hours post news, rather than just a knee-jerk reaction, which could be very volatile tomorrow. Aussie looks to me, I sound like a broken clock. I know I've been saying this forever, but it does look like we've had a kind of a spike climax bottom here. Although again, and this is also not very. It would be a lot more powerful, and it would certainly be a lot more convincing from a bullish point of view if we ended on the highs. We sort of ended in the middle. So the Aussie looks like still pretty much a two-way trade with 94.50 as the spike bottom, 96.50 as the spike top. And we're kind of trying to rebuild the trade over here. It's probably going to take 2, 3, maybe even a whole week's worth of consolidation around the 95 level before you could feel comfortable that perhaps this is truly a near-term bottom in the Aussie. So worth watching that as well. The strongest trade today was, of course, cable. Cable just really dominated through a lot of levels. Took out 55s, took out 56s, but at 57, it flamed out at 57. 57 was the major breakdown that we had in March, from which a lot of the down leg precipitated. It's a sort of a very similar story as with euro. The 33 was the breakdown in the euro. The 57 was the breakdown in cable. We're now back up to those breakdown levels, and I think it's going to take a lot more than just a day's worth of trade to kind of clear those levels on any significant basis. So it's most likely that we try to consolidate it, maybe even correct. The 55 now becomes the support in cable. And if we go back to the euro, I think it's going to be It's going to be 32 probably, maybe even 31.50 as support, maybe even all the way out to 31, but 31.50 certainly as support for the euro on any kind of a corrective basis. There is, as I've been saying today, um, a reasonable chance that the dollar could actually rally tomorrow if we have even a modicum of okay numbers, because so much of the positioning has been already pre-done, that it's unlikely you're going to get fresh anti-dollar buying unless you get supremely bad news out of the NFPs tomorrow. Lastly, I kind of just wanted to look at some of the crosses. One of the crosses I think is interesting to look at is, and this goes to the idea that the yen may be overdone, is pound yen. So the pound itself obviously may be reaching a top line at around the 57 level, but if we get any kind of a short covering rally in dollar yen, the pound yen itself found good support at the 150 level. We're trading around 51.85. That could be an interesting trade all the way back up to 53s, 54s before it sort of reaches any kind of significant resistance. The last thing I kind of just wanted to look at was dollar CAD, which of all the calm dollars really did not have as strong a move as you would have thought. Dollar CAD still finds tremendous amount of support. That is support for the dollar at the 102.50 level. So it'll be interesting to see how we trade tomorrow, and whether we can break. For dollar CAD to really, for loonie to generate further upside momentum, we got to have the 102s broken. And if 102s did get broken, the 150s and perhaps 101s come back into play. To the top side, there's definitely a topping out at 104s, 103.50s. It doesn't look like it's gonna be able to clear those levels with any authority. But to the bottom, the 102 becomes very, very critical. So that's kind of how everything shapes up. Very, very big day tomorrow. Obviously, the number will be big, but I think the much more interesting question is half hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour after the number. Where will the trades be? Will they maintain their positioning post news, whether it be good or bad, as far as the trade goes? We're clearly overbought, or excuse me, we're clearly oversold on a dollar, overbought on the anti-dollars. So even a modicum of positive news out of the U.S. could see a pretty serious reversal of today's flows. Wishing you guys the best of luck and the best of trading. I'll see you tomorrow. This is Boris Schlossberg over now.